What it do, snackers and snackettes? It's your boy Gage here. This is the Snacking and Hanging Podcast, which is the Loading Snacks Podcast. I have the usual suspects here with me today. Sin, speak to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Miss y'all as always.
And New Joker.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh, you know. Just getting ready to have this conversation, this discussion. Break some things down, sir. Hey, did either of y'all, before we get into this, we're gonna talk today about the so Time magazine, Time put out their list of the top 50 video games. This is just their definitive list. It's not necessarily the most important games. It's not their favorite games. It's the top 50 games. Period.
Right.
And so we're going to discuss this top 50 a little bit, and we're going to get into the top 10, and we're just going to rearrange things if we feel like we need to. We each have our own set of top 10 that we're going to kind of rearrange. But before we jump into that, did anybody jump back into the technical test for Titanfall 2 this weekend, see if there were any changes that were noticeable to you or anything?
I actually didn't get a chance to jump into it.
Okay.
Was at a cookout most of the day today, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You was out eating.
Oh, you know it. Eating, grilling, doing a little bit of everything.
Oh, okay. You actually got on the ones and twos of food.
You know it.
Okay. I mean, I don't know it. That's why I'm asking. But.
You any good? You any good?
Hey, everybody
lived,
so that's a good thing.
All right.
Got sick? Okay.
Everybody came back. People came back for seconds?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I can really say, we have a problem here.
Thirds and fourths, too, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Hey, listen, real quick. Coop was supposed to be on the show. Couldn't be on the show. Had something happen at the last minute. But I just want to give a shout out to Coop because the new Joker, Coop, Madden Challenge.
Oh, boy.
happened a couple days ago, and my man New Joker got smoked, bruh. Like, it was looking real good. It was looking real good.
I will say that. It was.
This is the thing. I don't know what happened. I don't know if you got cocky or super confident or whatever. If my man just got in your head, bruh. But literally, like, he scored on you on, like, the first play or, like, the second play or whatever. It was like, oh, okay. But then he missed a field goal, and it was like, okay, you can't even kick field goals. And then once that happened, hey, listen to me, Sin, when I tell you that New Joker was running game. I mean, like,
okay.
I probably was 3 scores straight, probably.
Yeah, he was running with the Falcons.
Okay.
Which is his team.
Who's Coop running with?
Coop's running with the Jets, bruh.
Jets.
And as soon as he picked the Jets, I was like, did you pick the Jets? And he was like, yeah. I was like, that's your team? And he was like, yeah, it's my team. And I was like, okay. I mean, look, I'm not, this, for real, it's not really about hating on the Jets or whatever. Like, you know, I got friends from Jersey. I have friends whose team, you know, the Jets is their team or whatever. But, like, okay, for those of you who don't know, we're DMV based. We live in Maryland. So DC teams are acceptable. Redskins. We accept, you know, Ravens. That's cool. That's, you know, that's home team, whatever. One, I never hear Coop even talk about football. But secondly, I don't know how he ends up having the Jets as his team. He's not from Jersey. I don't even know if he's ever been to Jersey. Anyway, not the point. The point is, New Joker was running game. Like, it was looking like a clinic. And my man Coop was over here sweating, bruh. It was looking serious. And I'm talking about it was so serious that I looked Coop in his face and I said, you do realize that if he scores one more time, it's a skunk. For those of you who don't know what a skunk is, when you skunk somebody in football, in Madden, you're up by 21 points. Once you go up 21 points, the game is over. So if you're winning by 21, game's over. The other person loses by default. I'm like, if he scores one more time, that's a wrap, bruh. Do you know my man Coop came back, bruh? And listen, they playing online. Coop's over here at my house. New Joker's at home.
Right.
I can hear New Joker sweating bullets.
You can hear him.
Listen,
it was because of the way I got quiet. Because that was the thing. As I was talking mad trash
he was
game.
And all that went away. And just turned it. Like, I could literally tell by looking at the screen, I knew exactly what face New Joker was making while he was playing. You understand what I'm saying? Serious face. Oh, nah, this dude ain't getting ready to beat me. Listen, my man Coop snatched like...
It had to be 5 or 6 passes.
Here's the thing. New Joker had snatched like 3 interceptions in like the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Coop snatched like 5 interceptions in the second half. It took him Joyce back. It was bad, bro. It was bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was so bad. Shout out to Coop.
Absolutely.
That was only round 1, though.
New Joker loses.
Yeah, I'll own that one this time. I'll own it.
Yeah,
but
you have
that was
to.
the first of many.
What was the score at the end?
Yeah. Go ahead, act like you don't know what it was, New Joker. I don't even know. Go ahead and say you don't know.
I don't know.
See?
Oh, salty.
How terrible is that? Well, sir, listen. I will tell you, if you want to know, the end results were the Jets 37, the Falcons 23. He got smoked, bruh.
Yeah, you
smoked.
did. You did, yeah.
It was bad, bruh. It was bad.
Man, Coop put it on you.
He did. He scored 17 points in the fourth quarter.
God!
You know what I'm saying? And New Joker didn't score at all in the fourth quarter. It was bad. It was bad, bro. All right, so now that we've established that, let us discuss this time 50 games, their list of the the top 50 games of all time. Top 50 games of all time. So, okay. I'm going to kind of run through. I just want quick responses. I'm just going to run through because it is 50 of them. It's a lot to kind of go through.
Yeah.
But number 50 is King's Quest 3 to Air is Human. Does anybody care?
No.
I know it was big on the PC, so I get why it's, on
no.
huge
I'm asking if you care.
Personally
I'm asking
do
if you
not
care. Nope. Okay. 49, Dota 2.
Nope.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Understand? Do you care?
Not at all.
Yeah, don't care. Okay.
Not really.
48, Angry Birds.
Now, that one I do care about.
Okay. Would it be higher on your list?
It actually
is.
is.
In top 10, but okay.
It actually is.
Okay. 47,
And
Guitar Hero.
That one actually is too.
What about you, saying Guitar Hero?
It's fine at 47 with me. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Resident Evil 4.
Good game. I will say that.
Classic,
good game.
Yeah. Would it be higher on anybody's list at all?
No.
Uh-oh. We got some heavy breathing. Some sighing.
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 45, Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. I love Gran Turismo 3.
Yeah, I was going to say, good simulator.
So.
See, I didn't actually get into it until 3.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I started playing around 2.
Yeah, I didn't care about 2. Number 44, Super Smash Brothers.
Yes, sir.
I was kind of mad at that one actually being as far down on the list that they had it.
Really?
It definitely moved up.
You would move it up.
I would move it up. Maybe not necessarily the top 10, but that's definitely a move up for me.
Okay. Let's see. Number 43, Call of Duty 2.
Yep.
I like it. It can stay where it's at.
I dig it. I mean, it That thing definitely helped make the 360 important. Number 42, BioShock.
From Tattoo.
Straight up.
Classic.
Cool with that?
Yeah,
I'm fine with this.
Is that okay? 41, ESPN NFL 2K5. I love that game.
I know you do. I know you do.
I'm kind of love that game.
I guess you could say in a sports lineup, I really feel like that would have been higher, but just with being in the genre of all games, that's probably where it really will.
I was honestly happy the fact that it was even on here. Like I don't know, for some reason I didn't see that coming.
One of the things I wanted to point out is the fact that one, I love the fact that 2K is on this list. I'm sure you saw my notes. But then the other thing is that the only two sports games on this entire list are NFL 2K5 and Gran Turismo 3. That's it. Like, there's no other sports games on here. I just kind of find that interesting. But I definitely think that game in particular is standout because it's of just the history behind it. And we can talk about that later. Number 40 is Pong.
Yeah, Pong can stay right there.
It can stay there.
For what it did when it came out, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Number 39, Castlevania.
Never was a huge Castlevania fan, but
me neither.
You know, I give respect, so I don't have a problem with that.
Yep, I agree. Number 38, Portal 2.
Really good game. Kind of. 38. I mean, with everything else, I mean, I'm happy it's in the top 50. Maybe a little bit higher it could have been, but
higher as in like a better score. Is that what you mean?
Maybe in the 20s. I think maybe in the 20s.
Excuse me.
Number 37, Braid.
You know what? I've never even played Braid. I was gonna say, never even heard of it. This makes me want to go and play it. See, I've heard. Oh, okay. I've heard of it, but I've never played it. But it's like, wasn't this the?
I never heard of it.
Oh, this was the puzzle thing, right? Where like you got to go get the puzzle pieces and put a picture together or something like that.
Yeah, it's like you can rewind time, and the game is cool. I mean, it is probably the darling that many people said was responsible for making Xbox Live Arcade what it was. Like, it was probably the first really, really big success on Xbox Live Arcade. Number 36, Fallout 3.
Ooh. But yes, it needs to be on this list. Absolutely.
Our both just kind of like,
I'm wondering if it should be higher. That's all. But yeah, it deserves to be on this list.
Number 35, Galaga.
I do not care, but like Pong, I understand. So okay, whatever.
True.
Yeah, I could dig it. Let's see here. 34, Red Dead Redemption.
Classic deserves to be on here. Definitely deserves to be on here.
What do you think, New Joker? Yeah?
It could be a little bit higher.
Be higher. Okay. Number 33, Super Mario Kart.
Yep.
That was addictive, but it can stay where it
should be on there. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's fine where it is. That's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer 64.
Agree that.
I mean, I personally, as important as I think Mario Kart was, I don't feel like it hit its stride until you could play 4 players, and that was like the crack that did it. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, vengeance. that blue turtle shell.
Better believe it. Number 32, Wolfenstein 3D.
That's good where it is.
It can stay there.
Like, I was a more Doom person than Wolfenstein when I used to, play these games when they came out. But once again, just like the old stuff, like, I understand it, I respect it. You're fine right there. Like,
right.
Yeah.
All right, number 31, The Sims.
They can stay there too.
One of the most addicting games ever. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm as important as that is. I do feel like it didn't hit its stride to The Sims 2. Number 30, Pokemon Red and Blue.
God, that needs to be a lot higher. That needs to be a lot higher.
I mean, come on, bro. Who cares? Hey, look, playing.
That was a phenomenon. Hey. That deserves to be a lot higher.
I mean, all right.
Hey, I'm not gonna argue with you.
Number 29, Myst.
I remember that game, and it can stay there.
For real.
Probably can honestly go.
I played Myst on the Saturn.
Sounds about right.
Maybe it was Myst 2.
Looking at this picture, yeah, that looks Saturn worthy. That sounds about accurate.
Number 28, Donkey Kong.
I go back to the old stuff. I get it. I don't care. Like, okay.
Damn.
I mean,
it's kind of cold.
But here's the thing. I never was really into Donkey Kong growing up. I just wasn't. Like, it was cool. I didn't hate on it. Just okay, whatever.
Yeah. Donkey Kong was tough though. Yeah, I used to love playing Donkey Kong in the arcade. Number 27, Mortal Kombat.
Ooh.
The original.
Yes.
Even coming from me, it's in a good place where it's at.
Look at that picture. Wow.
StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty is number 26.
Classic.
I didn't play StarCraft like that.
I did. And yeah, that one's good right there. Yeah, that's amazing.
I can straight up care less. Number 25, so we're at the halfway point. Mm-hmm. Halo Combat Evolved. Oof. The original Halo.
I think that's a good way to start out the 25 tops.
Top 25.
I mean, personally, I think Halo 2 definitely is where Halo really came into itself with the game. I think Halo 1 was good, but 2 just took it to a whole nother level.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. The story in Halo 2 was unfinished, wasn't sweet. It was the multiplayer that made Halo 2 what it was. It was just, you know what I mean? It wasn't, like, you can't really take that whole game. Just the multiplayer was so good, people act like this story wasn't there. But if you remember, like, it was controversial. Like, people were upset about the way that game ended.
Most definitely.
They definitely rushed it. Number 24, Final Fantasy VII.
I was a little mad at that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it make your top 10? I don't even know what place.
Did.
Okay, so clearly you would have moved that. What about you, Lo? How you feel about that? I mean, you know, we did Final Fantasy VII to the teeth, bro. Like we went all in on that.
See, here's my thing with the list. I see where they're going with it, so I'm not trying to put my favorite games higher up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I agree with that. I'm with you 100% on that.
Like if I was going like you just said, how we put in time, hours, how much we loved it. For that, of course, I would have put it higher. But for what they're doing, I don't have a problem with it.
Right. Okay. Number 23, Microsoft Flight Simulator X.
I get it.
I don't.
But whatever. Yeah. Never played it. Don't.
I'll tell you though, there were some people that were absolutely addicted to.
Yeah.
Flight simulators.
Like, I had folks that played the mess out of it. I just could. I think I've tried it like once or twice. I was like, give me something to fly around and shoot at least or something like.
Dig it.
I wasn't into the simulations back then. Put it like that.
Yeah. So. Number 22, GoldenEye.
That got a bump from me.
You bumped that up?
Yep.
Okay. I bumped that too. Number 21, Diablo 2.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it can stay at 21.
And should be higher.
I'm sorry, 21. Yep. All right. So, number 20, Zork.
No
That's
idea.
What I thought.
Hell.
Yep. Number 19. No disrespect.
I
just knew that was going to happen.
Intended, but
nah, bro.
I got you.
You need to get on. You need to get KB20.
Right. Number 19, Space Invaders.
Once again, I get it.
Tight.
Don't care.
I'm tight. Now, this is real interesting to me. Number 18, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Hey, look. And I agree.
That one caught me a little. It caught me a little by surprise, but
I was trying to remember if it was the first one or the second one when I saw that. Then when I realized, no, this is the second one they're talking about.
Right.
Like, holy crap! I haven't
the
even
one that just came out.
Yeah, like I still got to go downstairs and play this thing. So now that just made me way more amped to play it now.
Yeah, I mean that game is phenomenal.
So
man, it's high up on this list, bruh. I don't. I mean. That game is phenomenal, but, bruh, I don't know. It is a great game. We're just talking great games. We're not talking about, like, most influential or whatever. Like, if it was that list, then I would certainly expect, like, for, like, the original Tomb Raider to be on there before, this.
Right.
But,
Yeah, actually, I did expect Tomb Raider to be on there, and it threw me off when I saw this one. Like, oh, really? The last one? Okay.
Yeah. Number 17, Half-Life 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the 3.
Number 16, Grand Theft Auto 3.
That one, I think. It's hard to like. I feel like that one could be moved up a few places just because what it did for just like open world type of games.
I absolutely agree with you.
Number 15, Counter-Strike.
I mean,
that game is so old. People still play that.
They play it like it just came out.
Yeah, like I mean, yes, there's mods and all kinds of other stuff, which is, something that the PC community has with their, with those games. Right behind that, number 14, Quake.
I remember when that came out. The phenomenon that was Quake.
Yeah, no doubt. Quake, Doom, all that. Number 13, SimCity 2000.
I never really got into the city building games.
Here's the thing. I fell in love with SimCity on the SNES. Like, that was my first introduction to it. And once I figured out, when you're used to playing games on the NES, the kind of games that came out on the NES, and then you get SimCity, which I can't even remember how I ended up with SimCity, but I owned it. It wasn't like I rented it or something like that. And it was just like, what the heck? Like, it took me a very long time to figure out what the heck you were supposed to be doing. So at that time, you didn't even put down, like, buildings. You put down, like, a residential block. Like, you pick the R and put a residential block, and then you put, like, an I in it. And at the time, I was so young. I was like, I don't even know what a residential, I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't even know what this is, whatever. But once I started to get the hang of it, and, like, the city would start to develop. Like, you would put down this block, and the city would start to develop. And then I realized you could, like, cause natural disasters, tornadoes, and you could have, like, Godzilla come destroy the city. I was all in. It was literally just like playing Legos. Like, you would build something with Legos just so you could tear it apart. So, number 12, Final Fantasy VI.
Yes, sir. Put that joint as number 1.
This was our Final Fantasy 3.
My favorite Final Fantasy.
I mean, he loves that. That's his favorite Final Fantasy.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's that right there. That would be him saying that based on favorites. Not the greatest games of all time.
Right. But the fact that it was even on here at number 12, I was ecstatic with.
Yeah.
Like, it was
number 11.
Up, so.
Sid Meier's Civilization 4.
Don't really care.
Yep. There it is. Not my thing. All right. Let's get into the nitty gritty. The top 10, gentlemen. Let's do this. Number 10, World of Warcraft.
I agree, but I think it should have been moved up a little bit higher.
You would have moved it higher?
Mm-hmm.
You tripping? I would have pulled that joint completely out of my top 10. Does it deserve to be on the list? Absolutely. It wouldn't be in my top 10, though. It's not in my top 10. Let's put it that way. Number 9, the Oregon Trail. The Oregon Trail.
The Oregon Trail. In elementary school, that could come out of the top 10 for all I really care.
Yeah, not in my top 10, guys. Not in my top 10. That game's not great. That joint wouldn't even be in my top 50. Real talk. Number 8, Super Mario Bros.
Fun times.
Sure.
Good game. Maybe top 20.
Sure.
But I don't think top 10.
Really? I think you're tripping. Number 7, The Legend of Zelda.
Yep.
You like that where it is? That's good.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. Number 6, Minecraft.
Can't stop Minecraft.
Yeah, that's about in the right place. That is about in the right place.
Okay. Getting down to the nitty gritty. That bottom 5. Number 5, Miss Pac-Man, bruh. You know I love some Miss Pac-Man.
I know you do.
Love some Miss Pac-Man. That there, sir, is a great game. Okay. Number 4 is Doom.
Classic. Yeah. God, I remember spending hours on that thing. Days.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. You can have that.
Yeah.
Number 3, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. That is 2 Zelda games in the top 10 greatest games of all time. Well,
it's a good thing. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily would put 2 in the top 10, but definitely a good game.
And number 2, Super Mario 64.
Yeah. No, Super Mario 64, absolutely agree, being in the top 5.
Okay. And the number 1 game of all time, according to Time's top 50 greatest games of all time, is Tetris. Do we agree with that?
Very fun and addictive. Number 1, I don't think so.
I don't know, bro.
I know, like it's.
I actually think that's right. I think Tetris. I will tell you this: when I saw Mario 64 at number 2, I was like, bruh, if Mario 64 is number 2, what in the world could possibly be number 1? And when I scrolled down and saw Tetris, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Tetris. Arguably, obviously. But Tetris might very well be the greatest game ever made. It might be the greatest video game. Not greatest game, but greatest video game ever made. Period.
I would say it's in my top 3. It's still not number 1.
Okay. Well, we're going to give you a chance to say what you would do differently. I will say this. I think that Tetris is great at number 1, and I say that because Tetris was the kind of phenomenon. Tetris was the kind of game that did what the Wii did when it came out. It became the thing that, like, everybody knows Tetris. Like, you can name any game on this list, and the number of like parents, like our parents, that would know those games is slim to none. But they all know Tetris. Whether they played it or not, they all know Tetris. And it's easy for anybody to pick up and play. It's addictive. It's easy to understand. It's competitive. It literally is it's a perfect game to play by yourself, like a solitaire. And it is a perfect game to play against someone else. It just works. It just works. That joint made the Game Boy. Period.
You can pop in that game right now. All 3 of us, we can pop in that game right now.
It'll be a problem.
Hours. You will lose hours to that game.
It'll be a problem. Yeah. Yeah. I might have made children because of Tetris. Don't ask how. That's another story for a different time. I'll fill you in on how to do that later, gentlemen. But Tetris is a great game. And it was just like, I put it this way. I was having a really hard time arguing with that. Like, I just figured, where else would I put it? If I didn't have it at number one, what would I put ahead of it? I guess we're gonna find out from New Joker what belongs ahead of it.
Mm-hmm.
So then, why don't we do this really quickly before we get into our choices for top 10 and how we rearrange things and what have you? Let's take a quick break. If that sounds like a good idea.
Sounds like a plan.
And we will be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Snacking and Hanging podcast. This is episode 32. Which I failed to say at the beginning of the show.
32.
And we are discussing Time's top 50 list of the greatest games of all time. We've gotten through the top 10, and we are now going to make our own top 10s. Well, we have our own top 10s. We're going to read our lists of top 10 games. So, New Joker, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you start with 10? Run your list. Give us your reasons for why they are where they are. And if any of them are like, well, it's my favorite game, I'm going to kick it out of your top 10.
Like, don't worry about that. None of them are necessarily favorite games. Because trust me, if it was favorite games, already there'd be like Dragon Ball Z and all some of that stuff.
Pokemon, Dragon Ball, Pokemon. Got it.
Power Rangers.
Right.
Power Rangers, don't forget that.
A terrible Power Rangers fighting game in there somewhere.
All right.
Go ahead, shoot, my man.
Go. Cool. So I'm going to wrap up the top 10, number 10, with I'm going to go with Angry Birds.
Now, that's a huge jump from where that was on their list.
Now, the biggest reason why I would say that, coming into the smartphone time, Angry Birds, it did become that number one game for a good long while. I mean, if you had a smartphone, 9 times out of 10 you had Angry Birds on there. I don't care if you were a kid, a teenager, an adult, you had Angry Birds, you were playing it.
Okay.
After that was number 9. So this is another one that was kind of far down that list as well too. Was Guitar Hero, believe it or not. And not because of it being a good game of Mines. Just because of just because of what it started when it came out. So we got Guitar Hero, and of course we had different variations of Guitar Hero, but without Guitar Hero we would have never seen Rock Band. We would have never seen DJ Hero. We would have never had a lot of these music inclined games, which that was for me. I really liked the aspect of a game involving music, like your Dance Dance Revolutions and things like that. But I think Guitar Hero brought a good piece of some music, different music genres together that a lot of people would never have ever probably listened to in their life had they not played a Guitar Hero.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna knock it. I don't know if Guitar Hero is actually that great of a game. However, I recognize its influence. If I was doing a list of the most influential games, that game might be in the top 10. But I understand. I get your reasoning. Please continue. Good,
yes, sir. Number 8. This one will be a Final Fantasy game. It may not be Sin's Final Fantasy game that he loves so dearly, but this one was Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
Now, I think the story of Final Fantasy VII was pretty good. I mean, to the point where everybody loved it. We're finally getting a new remastered version of it that's going to be stretched out for God knows how long it's going to take them to release it. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
After that, now a couple, of course, I will say still stayed in the top 10, especially going with Minecraft. And the reasoning behind that, Minecraft.
I mean, okay. The phenomenon that is.
Yes. Okay. For my number 6, I had to keep Miss Pac-Man in that list.
My man.
just as being a massive upgrade from the first one. And just like you said, this is a game that if you just rolled off your tongue and said, people would be able to just say, "Ooh, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man? Oh yeah, let's go, let's play." Mm-hmm. It would just be one of those. Number 5, I bought up Super Mario 64. I didn't think it necessarily was number 2. I absolutely think that it deserves to be in that top 5. I didn't think it was number 2 though.
Okay.
Now here's where I can already start to see some flack coming in for here. Here we go. Number 4. Pokemon Red and Blue. We knew it was coming. Just for
okay, go ahead.
The phenomenon that it was. And I mean, don't get me wrong, we've had games similar to Pokemon.
But is it a great game?
It is a great game.
Was it a phenomenon? Is it a great game?
It is a great game.
Okay.
I could have been worse and said.
I don't know if that's an honest, like, it just is. It's just a great game.
I could have been worse and said, I could have said number 10, Pokemon Ruby, number 9, Pokemon Sapphire, and I could have just gone on all along.
I mean, I know what you wanted to do. That's why we're not doing your favorite game.
I'm smart.
We're gonna do our favorite game.
We're gonna do that eventually.
We're just not doing
Absolutely.
it this time. Yeah.
But trust me, I still kept that out of this though. This is still ones that I believe are very good.
Okay.
Now, moving up to number 3, same thing, just like I said earlier. I didn't think this was number 1, so it made my number 3, and that's Tetris.
Okay.
I know.
I mean, that's cool. That's perfect. That's perfect. I got it as your number 3. Now I'm just more interested to see what 2 and 1 are.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Pokemon and Pokemon. Like, nah, go.
Actually, no. Number 2 is Dragon. No, let me stop. I'm lying.
Uh-oh.
Number 2 is World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Major expansions for the way the game played. Like, I personally played World of Warcraft from the first version of it, and I would say I've bought a couple of the expansions and gone on to it, and it's built over itself over time to where you can just continue to play this thing endlessly. And just like Sensei with some of the other games, you will lose hours in World of Warcraft like there's no tomorrow.
Yes, you will.
Okay.
Now, for my number 1, now this one is going to be a shooting game. It's not Doom.
Okay.
It's going to be GoldenEye.
Okay.
Now,
I'm not going to beef with you on that.
GoldenEye, just for the same thing, what it was when it came out on the N64, it was amazing. Number 2, to date, this is probably one of the only games associated to a movie outside of your Spider-Man games that probably was really good.
Real talk. Real talk.
Yeah, that joint, the Wolverine Origins game.
It's very few, but that was one of them.
Spider-Man 2. Like, that's about it.
Yeah. But, yep.
E.T. on the Atari. Nah, go ahead.
But GoldenEye took my number 1 spot on that list.
Okay. So, literally, GoldenEye 007 for the N64 is the greatest game ever made.
I agree.
I just want to clarify.
No, I know. I understand.
Okay. I'm just... Okay. I have some issues with that.
It's not a problem. We're all gonna have issues with something in other lists. So,
but you know what? I like your list though. Your list is not too shabby. Your list is different from mine. I think part of the reason why your list is different from mine is because of our ages. But
nope, I totally agree with that because I definitely think there's some games on this list that you have played and Sin have played a lot more than I have, just for the time. Like, so let's say Doom. Doom came out, was that 93 or 96? I know it was in between that that time gap.
Dude. 93.
So
I don't think
93,
but yeah, somewhere in there.
I'm pretty sure it was in 93 because you know why? I was an absolute Power Ranger addicted guy. I still am today.
Yes.
But during my 93, and plus I was a kid. So Doom wouldn't have even been in my game collection, let alone
Right. I mean, yeah, no, I'm with you on that 100%. I certainly do understand that. All right, Sin, let's go. What you got? Number 10, right. Sir.
Number 10, World of Warcraft. It can stay where it is on that list.
Okay.
Just because World of Warcraft, it is what it is. Like, it came out, it's been a phenomenon. They just have, whether it was good or bad, a full blockbuster movie with it. Tons of expansions, millions upon millions of people playing it and actually getting, living in these worlds. Like, it's hard to pull something like that off, and they did, and it's a phenomenon, and it's still going on. So,
It almost had you. It was called EverQuest.
It did. EverQuest, Dark Age of Camelot, Arcane Online. Like, I bounced around to something, yeah, but Warcraft came out. They did it real good, and they're one of the ones that still here today. After all this time,
no doubt. So. It's still going. Yeah. Yep, no doubt.
Yeah. So number 9, Mario Brothers. Okay. Because it's Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers or Super Mario Brothers?
The very first one. The one that they listed as number 8 or something like that.
Okay, Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers is the joint where they're like running around and they just like throwing hammers and hitting the turtles inside the little inside the sewer.
Old school Nintendo.
That's like old school arcade. You're talking about Super Mario Brothers Rescue the Princess. Mario Brothers Mario Brothers, no princess.
Then I'm talking about Princess.
Yeah, you're talking about
Super Mario Brothers.
The one on their list.
Right, okay. Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, okay. I mean, look how much people love this game still to this day. They did Mario Maker, and people just can remake those levels all over again the way they want, and they play them and have tournaments in them and all that kind of stuff. Like, as simple as it is, it's still hard to beat as a platform. It's still, as a platform, it's still iconic to this day, and people still play it faithfully to this day. I don't, but I get it. So yeah, and plus they came with an iconic character, Mario. You see this dude everywhere. Come on, he closed out the Olympics. Like, hey,
I can't wait for the Tokyo Olympics, by the way.
See you, Tokyo. Number 8, Zelda. Once again, they gave us an iconic character.
The original Zelda?
The original Zelda.
The Legend of Zelda.
The original, the original one, yep. Gave us a great adventure game with great puzzles, bosses, iconic characters. Just and so many games to come after that. Like, he's made debuts in other games, and it's just, without Zelda, you wouldn't have the Ocarina of Time. So I removed that from my list because without Zelda, you wouldn't have that. So just give kudos to Zelda for being one of the first big popular adventure games that, to do it and do it well. 7 is Final Fantasy 7. Just because what it did for RPGs over here. Like, it made RPGs popular over here in the West. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Agreed.
Which was hard to do. So, shout out to Final Fantasy 7 for doing that. 6, Minecraft, because for some reason people love it and you can't stop it, and I don't get it. But hey, you can stay on the list because it's everywhere and it's not going nowhere. I might play it when I get HoloLens, but whenever that happens. 5, Mrs. Pac-Man can stay there. I still have not been a Pac-Man fan, but I get it. Like, people are obsessed with Pac-Man. Like, to this day, it is still such a huge phenomenon. Like, I never was able to get into it, probably because I sucked at it back in the day. But hey, here's what it is. I respect what respect is due. So we can sit there at number 5. Number 4, Doom. Like, the first big first-person shooter will put first FPSs on the map. Doom. Like classic weapons, enemies, level design, everything back then was just phenomenal. Great multiplayer, co-op, the whole 9 yards. Like pure fun. And without Doom, you wouldn't have GoldenEye. So shout out to the one that put on the map, made it real popular, and everything. 3, Grand Theft Auto 3. Because it made open world games popular. Now everybody's doing open world. Everybody wants to run from the police in games. Everybody wants to drive crazy and do tricks and all this crazy stuff. Grand Theft Auto 3 started that all with its open world approach. So it had to definitely be up higher on my list. And number 2 and number 1 is going to be what's on that list, Mario 64 and Tetris.
Okay.
I didn't have a problem, and dead serious. Honestly, I did the exact same you did when I saw those two. When I saw Mario 64 was number 2, I was like, what the hell is number 1 if Mario 64? Because that was my pick. Mario 64 was number 1.
That's mine too. That's what I was thinking was going to be number 1.
Yeah, and then when I saw Tetris, I literally did the same thing. Like, I get it.
Can't really argue with that.
Yeah, like I get it. Like, look, Mario 64 is the best platformer ever. I can pop it in right now and go through the whole game and have the time of my life with it. Yeah. Like, perfect. Tetris, everybody named Mother plays Tetris. I got Tetris on my phone. Like, it is the perfect game for just any time, any place, whether you're playing on a 65-inch TV or a cell phone, and you will get lost for hours upon hours. And it's just so simple. Trying to connect blocks together and don't let it climb up to the top of the screen. But it's just one of the most addicting games I've ever played, and it still is to this day, right? Yeah. But it
has brilliance.
Yeah. Those are my picks.
I mean, I like it. I think it's a solid list.
Thank you, brother.
Here's where I'm at.
Okay.
Number 10, Super Metroid.
Oh.
I cannot believe there is not a Metroid game on this list at all. Time Magazine. We beefing. Look, Super Metroid is a game that I do really love. But and again, we kind of talked about this. This isn't necessarily like the top most influential games of all time, but you kind of can't be one of the greatest games of all time without being influential. Right. Because if you have a game that's that great, people are undoubtedly going to try to copy what you did. And so it, as a whole, just Super Metroid and Castlevania. I'm not a Castlevania fan. I don't necessarily think the Castlevania games are that great. I actually think they're too difficult. Some people would say that's the point. I think the game is so difficult that it takes the fun away from it. I get the idea. It's like, I get the idea that it's difficult, so when you master it, you feel vindicated, whatever. Y'all can save that for Dark Souls.
I'm about to say like a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne.
But that's basically what Dark Souls is to Castlevania. But now games come out and they're like, it's a Metroidvania game. It's a what game? A Metroidvania game. Right, because the idea of starting out with like the simplest weapon, going through this huge map, seeing places that you can't get to, but you know eventually you got to get there or you're trying to get there, and then you find that weapon that opens that door. You get that ability to roll into that ball, and it changes the dynamic of the game, how you can play, what you can do. Being able to actually roll into a ball, stack bombs on themselves, and blow yourself up to reach higher levels, things like that. Like, that game is extremely influential. It is a wonderful game. I think it's one of the greatest games of all time, which is why it's my number 10. Number 9 is Minecraft.
Okay.
And here's why. Minecraft is the game we've all been playing since we were the smallest of children, before we ever picked up a controller. It was called Legos. And it's different from Legos, but the principle is the same. It was always, like, you would play with Legos and it'd be like you're imagining that you have this world in front of you. Every time you dump out your Lego blocks and you start putting them together, you're reimagining or putting together this world that doesn't exist, and you're trying to do it out of these blocks. And Minecraft actually allows you to do that with blocks in a virtual space, which is what you really needed to be able to make that idea of Legos come to life. It is the kind of game that, I mean, obviously it's been upgraded and there's been changes and updates and things like that, but kids who are 3 play Minecraft, kids who are 6 play Minecraft, kids who are 12 play Minecraft, grown men and women play Minecraft. People are making working cell phones and computers and pianos in Minecraft. That game is incredible. It is great. And it's still very young. But the game has been in the top 10 in NPD for as long as it's been out. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not going anywhere because people are still discovering new things and new ways to play and new things they can do. And something as simple as them being like, oh, well, now you can dress like Master Chief in it. Doesn't change the game. You know what I mean? But it's like, when they finally put that game on the Wii U, and it was like, oh, but you got all these Mario assets now. It's like you got a whole new world. You know what I mean? So, Minecraft. My number 8 is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Again, I understand why Grand Theft Auto 3 is on this list. I understand why Grand Theft Auto 3 is in your top 10. Mm-hmm. Vice City, to me, is a better game than Grand Theft Auto 3 because it grew. It took that idea, which, again, that was the first time we ever saw it, and it expanded on it in a way we had never seen. But it's not just that. It's the time period piece that they took it back to the 80s. They made it feel like it was the 80s, and you felt like you wanted to be there. And the soundtrack. That soundtrack makes that game so good. It works so perfectly, and they did it on terrible hardware, bro. Like, that game is phenomenal. And I thought about that, like, really hard. Like, I really like San Andreas, but San Andreas overdid it with, like, the eating too much and the trying to stay, gain weight and the girlfriends and all that kind of stuff. Like, it did too much. I feel like Vice City was, like, the pinnacle for that. So, Vice City. Number 7 is Resident Evil. The original Resident Evil. The original Resident Evil. That, my friends, is a great game. Now, I understand why people talk about Resident Evil 4 and this, that, and the third, but the fact of the matter is, Resident Evil 4 is not better than the original Resident Evil. And the reason why is because Resident Evil created a genre. Survival horror didn't exist before then. And what they did with that in terms of, like, you gotta find these ribbons for these old nasty typewriters in this old rundown mansion. It's scary. You're locked in this mansion. You can't get out. You try to go back out the front door. It's like, why wouldn't you just go back out the front door? Because there's nasty zombie dogs outside. You can't go out the front door. You know what I mean? Like, that game, having 2 separate characters where you could play through the entire game, having to play in different paths with varying difficulty. That was the first game I can ever remember, and I don't know if anything else has ever done it, where the character you chose was choosing the difficulty between choosing, if you pick Jill, you had more inventory, stuff like that. That game, the influence that it has had on the industry has since been ruined by shooters, but it in and of itself, we're talking about, I was in college when Resident Evil came out, and you're talking about, like, grown men in a college dorm. I mean, we were 18, 19, but we're talking about grown men in a college dorm playing in a room with the lights out, and all of us are scared. You know what I mean? Like, playing this game. So what its impact was and how great, how smart it was, the way the puzzles were set up, figuring those things out, the save system, and just the tenseness that it created is brilliant. Number 6 is Miss Pac-Man, so it actually moves a slot. I love Miss Pac-Man. It's one of my favorite. It actually is one of my favorite games. I have very, very fond memories of Miss Pac-Man, but basically Miss Pac-Man took Pac-Man, which was already a phenomenon, and it improved on it. So it's kind of like Vice City in this case for me. Miss Pac-Man was a better game. And so I enjoy it. GoldenEye is my number 5. So, I respect Doom. I respect Quake. I respect Counter-Strike. You know what I mean? But GoldenEye made first-person shooters on a console a viable thing. See, without GoldenEye, you don't get Halo. Like, sure, you can say without Doom or without Quake, you don't get any first-person shooters. I get that. But you could have continued to get shooters and only get them on the computer, on a PC, because people believe mouse and keyboard was the only way you could play a shooter. And GoldenEye changed that. Nintendo had a lot to do with that. But GoldenEye was responsible for that. And not only was it, again, we talked about this in one of the other categories, it was like Halo 2 was great for the multiplayer. People didn't necessarily love the story so much because they didn't like how it ended. GoldenEye, yes, it was a movie. It was based on a movie, but the way they made you play that game, playing the single-player game, not only was great for playing the game, it opened up other things. It gave you changed the difficulty, and it gave you more objectives to hit. You shot a dude in the butt, and he grabbed his butt, and that never happened in a game before. You know what I mean? And then, like just real talk, and then you added the multiplayer component. 4 players. Like, that game is phenomenal, and without that, the multiplayer scene that is alive now, that started with 4-player first-person shooters, that's GoldenEye. Number 4 is A Link to the Past. Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past.
That's actually one of my favorite RPGs, too, of all time.
Literally, one of my favorites of all time. It is the first Zelda game I ever beat. Here's the thing. The Legend of Zelda was ahead of its time, the original Legend of Zelda. Sure, it's a great game, but I feel like it's really not that great of a game. Like, it is a great game, but it was too difficult, too obscure, didn't tell you anything, you didn't know what you were doing. And that did have a lot to do with, like, how held back they were by the hardware. Still, like, the first time I played Zelda, I didn't know what to do. It just, you know what I'm saying? It was like, what is this? When A Link to the Past came out on the SNES, it took that idea, because Zelda 2 is so different. You know, I was a side scroller. Link to the Past went back to the top down and completely rewrote the way, like, to me, that was what they intended the original Zelda to be, and couldn't get it to be that. You know what I mean? At the time. So again, it's kind of like those Vice Cities. Like, I feel like, almost like how Assassin's Creed was a great attempt. We all liked it. It did something new and different that we hadn't really seen before. Mm-hmm. And then Assassin's Creed 2 came along and was like, this is what they were really trying to do, kind of thing. And that's how I feel about A Link to the Past. And as much as I love Ocarina of Time, I actually think A Link to the Past is a better game. People are going to be mad about that, but it is what it is. Ocarina of Time is great, and it has influenced, but Zelda as a whole, the genre has, the genre introduced, open world, really, it introduces that. I mean, it has influenced almost everything else. But after Ocarina of Time, as great as it is, almost everything else they've done Zelda-wise has just kind of copied that. And they haven't really been able to expand upon it. But somehow with A Link to the Past, they were able to expand upon that original idea and make it better. So that's where I'm at. Number 3 is Mario 64. Again, one of those games that just is greatest 3D platformer ever made. Period. One of those things that Nintendo has always done really well has been giving you a reason, well, until the Wii U, giving you a reason, like showing you why the kooky controller or the ridiculous thing they invented makes sense, how it would work. And the first time we saw that controller with the little penis in the middle, with the analog stick, and the Z trigger underneath, you know what I mean, and like camera buttons, what are you talking about? Why would you do that? But literally the first time you slightly push that controller, that analog stick forward, and Mario begins to tiptoe instead of run, it was like, this is 3D, bruh. Like, for real. Like, this is it. And and not only did it do that, but the game itself is a phenomenal game. The way that they broke each world down, jumping into the paintings, everything's a little bit different. All the little different techniques. The triple jump, like that joint is unstoppable. My number 2 is Super Mario Brothers. So, the original side scroller. For the same reasons why you guys had Mario Brothers, it has influenced almost everything else. That game not only is a great game, it was the kind of game where you could learn it, play through the entire game without dying if you were good. You could get that good very easily. And you would play 2 players knowing that the person you were playing with was good enough that they weren't going to die. And you would just watch them play it. And then you just play your turn. Really, you could have just let them play and then started over and never been Luigi.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you would wait and you would watch them. You would watch them play the whole thing, and then you would just go and you would do it again and do yours. And the game's not that long. Like, you can, especially, you could walk. Like, that game did things for such an early game. Like, the secrets that it had, being able to jump up and run across the bricks and find the pipes and skip it. It was crazy, just absolutely crazy. And that's the first game I remember having secrets. You know what I'm saying? And, like, almost all games have secrets now. So, and I left Tetris where it was at number 1 because of what has already been said like 4 times now. Because Tetris is better than everything on New Joker's list.
Damn.
It is, bro. It is. It is. There might be stuff you'd rather play. But I don't know, bro. Like, if the only thing if something happened and we have any video games except Tetris, we might actually be all right, bro. Like, for real. We might actually be all right. As long as we can play against each other. You know what I mean? Like, Tetris is pretty...
It is.
Tetris is like... It's the original deck of cards for video games. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a deck of cards, you got tons of games you could play. There are games you can play within Tetris that don't have anything to do with Tetris, that just are Tetris, because you can play against each other, and you can try to make lines faster than each other, or you can play it by yourself and literally get engrossed. And, like, you would listen to that same song play over and over and over again, that little Russian theme, bruh, and you'd just be caught up in it. And so, yeah, Tetris belongs. It is the reason why there was a Columns. It's the reason why there's a Bejeweled. It's the reason why, any of those games that are on your mobile,
your mobile phone, device.
Come on, bruh. They're all games where you match and get rid of rows. You knock pieces out, stuff like that. Like, people have been trying to replicate the greatness that is Tetris forever, ever since Tetris came out. And the reason why Tetris is as great as it is because even when games come out that are as good as Tetris or are great like Tetris, Tetris is still great. Like, you could still just be like, well, let's just play Tetris. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of them have been able to knock it out where it's like, well, I don't want to play Tetris. I'd rather play whatever King game just came out. You know what I mean? Like, why would you play that instead of playing Tetris? You can, but you certainly don't need to. So, I like Tetris as number 1. I think that's the best thing that they did with this list. Most certainly.
All right.
Gentlemen, anything else? You guys have an honorable mention or anything you want to throw out? I'm sure you got one sitting in there somewhere.
I literally was not even thinking of honorable mentions when I was doing this. I was going
either.
I was going through all 50 of those things, trying to, think about them and figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, look, there are games that I love that aren't on this list at all.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do that. We're going to do that later. We're definitely going to go through, like, everybody was doing that hashtag 7 fave games or whatever. We'll probably do that next week. I think that might be a good thing to do next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So I think that's what we'll do. Outside of that, gentlemen, I think we can wrap this one up. Yes, sir?
Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Time to get ready for Baltimore Comic-Con.
Time for get ready for Baltimore Comic-Con.
Time for the con. Listen, for those of you who are listening to this before Labor Day, have a happy and safe Labor Day weekend. For those of you here in the U.S., where Labor Day is a holiday where some people are off and some people still have to work. Not sure how that worked out. But yes, just please travel safely if you're traveling. And by all means, get where you're going safe. Have a happy holiday. And don't let New Joker grill.
Whatever you do.
Or just play him in Madden.
That should brighten up your
night.
What was that score again?
Man, there's no Street Fighter on this entire list of top 50 games, greatest games. I don't think there's any fighters on there at all.
There isn't.
It's ridiculous.
No, Mortal Kombat was on there, wasn't it?
Oh, you're right. It was. True. You're right.
How is Mortal Kombat one of the greatest games ever, and Street Fighter 2 is not on this list at all? Let's write a letter. This is not right.
Write a letter?
It's not right. It shouldn't be Street Fighter. It should be Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Ooh, I'll agree with you on that one.
I digress. Anyway, gentlemen, let's get ready to get out of here. Tell the people where they can find you. New Joker, you start.
Gotcha. So if you guys want to get at me, gaming consoles, Instagram, and Twitter, New Joker 89. Get me on Facebook, New Joker's Adventures. And if you want to shoot me an email, that's newjoker.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. Send.
That was pretty smooth.
A little bit, yeah. Y'all can reach me on email at send.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. You can hit me on Facebook, Twitter, IG, Xbox Live at Sincere619. If you want to hit me up on PlayStation or Snapchat, it's the same thing. Just replace that I with an L, and you'll find me.
Dig it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get hold of me specifically on Twitter and Instagram, I am Empty Shells, MTSHELLZ. Same thing on gaming consoles. There's just a space between the M, the T, and the S. By all means, make sure you go and you follow us at Loading Snacks across all social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know how we do. And thanks for listening to the podcast. Please like and subscribe. Please share. And shoot on over to our YouTube page. We got some pretty decent videos over there. I'd say they're better than decent. I'd say they're damn near phenomenal.
Rather entertaining.
We do have some pretty good content over there. So shoot over to YouTube and check us out there. The podcast also posts to YouTube. So if that's an easier way for you to listen to us while you're, I don't know, cleaning your room, by all means, check us out there. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this show up. We are out. Toodles and lose.